Regular show is anything but. A shocking statement to start off, I know. But one of the biggest appeals to the show is how it starts off like an average day that quickly can turn into a multitude of unexplainably weird adventures. From grounded street-level journeys to universal expanding voyages. The final season of Regular Show itself encompasses the weirdness by taking the story completely into space, and having a through-line narrative between pretty much every episode rather than these standalone wacky episodes. Regular Show remains one of the shows that will completely go left when it's heading right. The mundane to madness workplace buddy comedy always filled its 11-minute segment runtimes with entertaining nonsense that played on the edge of a kid's show and something slightly more adult, in which is a direction the creator would venture off to after Regular Show would come to an end. But today, let's take a look at how this seemingly innocent show ended its 8-season run with a funny, yet emotional episode that would blow the minds of fans and cement itself as one of the most interesting and best endings to a show out there. This is the shockingly weird way Regular Show ended.
We don't care.
Man, if only I can replace my old wallet with something new and efficient. Did someone say wallet? Oh my gosh, I have no idea who you are. It's me, Surd. Sponsored. And I'm here to help make your dreams come true. My wallet dreams? Yeah, specifically your wallet dreams. Oh, cool. First, tell me, are you a dad? Well, no, Perfect, here you go. What the? Congrats, you're a dad now. I don't think I'm ready to be a dad. The owner of a new wallet? Of course you are. You got a baby. And that means? That means you're a father, and with Father's Day coming up, that means your kid legally has to buy you a gift. He's a baby. He is a baby. With money to spend. What the? Hey, that's my money! Speaking of money, let's save some with the perfect Father's Day gift from Exter. That's fantastic! Now how do I take care of this baby? Exter, the world's largest smart wallet brand. Efficiency, security, and style are Exter's mission statement, and that's what you get. So I've been rocking the Parliament wallet from Exter for over a month now in an effort to have a more comfortable experience that is also convenient. I mean, watch this. Boom! Access to all my cards without having to dig them out of the holders from my previous wallet. It's quick, and the aluminum internal casing protects them against skimming, which plagues so many people per year, so the RFID protection is a pretty nice safety to have. Using this wallet for my everyday use has genuinely been a breeze, and honestly, I don't think I'll need to ever worry about purchasing another wallet ever again. For more security, there's a nice slot for the sleek tracker card which can be tracked worldwide if you can't find your wallet. You hit this button on your phone and... oh. There it is. Silly me. It's solar powered and can last up to 3 months on a single sunny charge. The wallet is also made with premium environmentally friendly leather, and it fits nicely in the pocket that sometimes I forget it's even there. Whew, it's there. But if it weren't, I'd still be able to find it thanks to the tracker. To step up your wallet game, click the link below. Father's Day is right around the corner, so think about treating your dad to something nice and something they will be really thankful for with 20% off all orders site-wide and 30% off orders over $150. There's even a special Father's Day bundle that comes with a metal clip case, a sleek metal tool card, and your choice between the aluminum card holder or Parliament wallet, all inside of a premium gift bag. Thanks so much to Exter for sponsoring today's video.
Makes sense to me.
J.G. Quintel has had one of the most exciting runs for Cartoon Network on a variety of shows to then creating some of his own. From attending Cal Arts with Thorpe Van Orman, the creative behind The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack, and Pendleton Ward, who took the world by storm with Adventure Time. Initially working on Star Wars Clone Wars as an apprentice, no, not that type of apprentice, the type of apprentice that revises storyboards, to then working on Camp Lazlo as well as the creative director for Flapjack before he would be invited to Cartoon Network's Cartoonstitute. There has to be a better name for that. To pitch and show off creative ideas that could have a chance at going beyond just a short. Having had some characters created for his student films, he inevitably came up with a visual pitch instead of a verbal pitch, as the idea of Regular Show is for sure a harder concept to explain rather than just show what it was. Both Craig McCracken and Rob Renzetti were pretty on board with what JG had to show, and the project was greenlit. At the same time, he would work work with Ward on Adventure Time, keeping his schedule pretty full at Cartoon Network. From 2010 to 2017, regular show would span 8 seasons for a total of 261 individual segments, and even a movie in 2015. To say that regular show made quite the impact on the network would be a massive understatement. Along with the 1-2 punch of Adventure Time running simultaneously, this would be a part of the new age Cartoon Network is still currently in. You could make a million videos talking about almost any episode from the show to speak about how fun, weird, and downright interesting the show consistently was. But season 8 in general completely diverts from its usual to deliver something special. The first episode of season 8, One Space Day at a Time, sets in motion an overarching story that takes our lovable slackers and company into the stars and that culminates in an ending only regular show could produce. Starting off with a domed over park being sent into space. A plot point from the previous season where the dome was part of an experiment, and during the season 7 finale, after Rigby graduates, they somehow get sent into orbit after hitting a button with secret motives from Mr. Maillard, the owner of the park. So to end season 7 on such a massive cliffhanger and to have drip-fed this space mystery a bit before we even get to season 8 was a sneaky and cool way to prepare us for something rather different. Later on throughout their space ventures, we arrive at a space VHS store that claims Pops is the chosen one, or a special VHS that contains the past and origins of Pops. It explains how Mr. Maillard found him as a baby with a scroll about 2 brothers, one of good and one of evil, who were destined to fight one another. Pops has been experiencing some changes in powers, and for good reason. He needs to train to master his abilities and prepare to fight against his evil counterpart. After Pops takes on intense training to hone his powers and skills, he wants nothing more than to not face off against Anti-Pops, which is just Pops, but he's evil. Through meditation, he's able to contact Anti-Pops right inside his head, as we see how Pops tries to reason with Anti-Pops, where then he is tricked into believing that there is a way to settle this battle without a fight, as he thinks that there is still good inside of Anti-Pops. When they confront each other, Pops tries to extend a hug of peace. Foreshadowing? Maybe. But that didn't work and a fight breaks out. But this battle shows off their powers against each other in action, with Pops finding Anti-Pops' erasing powers to be overpowering, as the rest of the park's crew has to swoop in to rescue him, and Pops' trainer giving his life to save them as they escape. Now, with the battle coming up, they must travel to his home world of Lollyland to fulfill the destiny of battling Anti-Pops, in which Pops still struggles with this conflict. He's terrified on both ends of not being able to save the universe and of course being in this fight in general. This whole build up throughout season 8 felt like a celebration of explaining the method of the madness we've seen for the seasons before, as it pays tribute to the character of Pops and his journey of just being this happy-go-lucky fella to the sole defense against the destruction and reset of everything. There's a touching episode before the end where everyone spends time cheering up Pops and making sure he knows that they have his back no matter what. To commemorate their life and times together, they save their memories as individual moments to be put on a Blu-ray box set, which in real life does not exist, and I'm not happy about that fact. I know it's all on streaming, but it's not the same. I'll fight for physical over streaming any day. Wait, is that foreshadowing?
Be right back, everyone!
Coming up next, regular show.
Let's get into the finale of the show, starting off with Pops having nightmares about himself losing the battle and being scared to fight Anti-Pops. Now as they arrive at his home planet of Lollyland, the Guardian statue explains about this exact battle happening every 14 billion years as a part of a universe resetting cycle. We get a further deep dive into the history of Pops, how him and his planetary race of people came to be, seeing that when the perfect ultimate creation in Pops was created, there needed to be a balance, thus giving birth to Anti-Pops. Every cycle, this has all happened before. The same people in the same places, ending in the same result. A draw. No one wins, as when the fists collide, the impact causes the universe to reset once more, and so on the cycle goes. This time has to be different though, so the rest of the crew try to strategize setting up traps to catch Anti-Pops off guard once the battle starts. But Pops is hesitant due to his good nature, but allows them to all go through with setting them up. Once Anti-Pops arrives, Pops offers another chance to reason with him for peace. but it doesn't work, which springs the traps into action. But all of those efforts fall flat as Anti-Pops is completely fine and more ready to fight than ever. A deal is made for the duel, however. The first to knock over the other settles the fate of the universe, as when they rip off their shirts, they're both ripped. From martial arts to then their abilities, Pops actually gets the upper hand. Knocking over Anti-Pops and the battle ends in Pop's favor, is what should have been. But Anti-Pops breaks the deal and continues the fight. The henchmen begin to enter the fight as they go after the rest of the park's crew, but once the literal embodiment of streaming shows up to aid on the side of Anti-Pops, I enter the fight because I said I'll fight streaming. Okay, well, you know, of course that didn't happen. But physical media does as HD DVD and Blu-ray show up to the fight, along with a plethora of cameos from characters throughout the show's run show up for one more intense and over-the-top battle. It pulls off the same feeling as Avengers Endgame, 2 years before that movie even happened. I sense some regular show fans on the writing team over at Marvel. Jokes aside, as Pops handles Anti-Pops and Mordecai along with Rigby fight off the henchmen in aerial combat, the rest of the crew and the backup combine forces to turn into a giant mech to fight streaming, with HD DVD and Blu-ray ultimately landing the crushing blow with their superior sound quality compared to streaming. And that just makes me feel so justified in why I love physical media. Thank you, regular show. Anti-Pops, however, has grown more and more powerful, growing in size and starts to erase everything in sight. But once he fully erases Muscle Man and High Five Ghost, Pops can no longer hold back in his ultimate power, growing massive to match Anti-Pops. The battle becomes more intense and the big colliding punch seems to be happening. So in a last-second effort, Mordecai and Rigby fly directly in between the punch, and in a flash that seems to reset the universe, we find ourselves back in the original episode of the show, The Power. Yeah, it just cuts to the original first episode of the show. I'm sure someone watching this live had to be totally confused and thought something happened and Cartoon Network messed up their broadcast. But this confusion would be short-lived as Rigby quickly remembers every journey and adventure they've ever been on up until the final battle. He tries to explain this to Mordecai, but it doesn't hit him until they dig up that Blu-ray set that was just made for them, and it works. But what doesn't work is the fact that we still don't have this Blu-ray. They then realize that they aren't back in time, they are frozen in time in this pseudo-pocket dimension, so they use the power of the keyboard to fling them back to the battle still raging on. During this, Pops gets knocked back into his own past as the original J.G. Quintel short of The Naive Man from Lollyland. Stuff like this specifically is what I love. To see these little inside jokes and moments and the creators getting to go full-on bonkers with their vision, offering a visual treat not only for the audience but for the fans. Furthering this into the whole fabric of the show unraveling, with the characters turning into production notes and storyboards. It has been something I feel we have seen more and more recently, and even in Quintel's newest show, Close Enough, with the daughter character somehow breaking into Cartoon Network's offices to see the production of the show being made. But it just doesn't get old. It's truly a fun little meta spectacle that adds a layer of appreciation to the creative process. Now, as the fight is looking grim, Pops wants to go in for a different approach, one that was foreshadowed several episodes back, and now trying to settle the score with kindness. Rather than fight, Pops goes in for a hug to help balance out Anti-Pops' evil heart as they barrel towards a sun. And in these final moments, Anti-Pops loses the struggle of evil and finally accepts the love into his heart as they both crash into the sun. Pops sacrifices himself, a selfless act that would not only end the battle and save the universe, but stop this cycle from continuing further. We then cut back to Earth as the dome returns with everyone back home cheering on their arrival. We see as everyone celebrates this that life goes on. A statue for Pops is put up and the park crew gets older. They are now able to live their lives, start families, and all with no threat of this great reset. All that is missing is Pops. A main character in this seemingly day-to-day nothingness show gave up their life to save everyone from certain doom. It's beautiful and touching how well done this is. 25 years after, we meet with Mordecai and Rigby once more. They reminisce on their lives and how they got to the spot in life that they're at, all while we pull back and see that this was all being watched from a VHS titled Regular Show, from Pops himself in the afterlife, as he says,
"Jolly good show."
And the sounds of David Bowie's Heroes plays as we end this seemingly regular show. And if that didn't hit you right in the feels, that moment right there then I don't know what will.
How hard did you hit your head?
Yeah.
Huh?
In the end, this finale, nay, the whole season, is such a weird diversion from the original setup of the show, but it feels so much more impactful that it did something so different. It left the series at a truly memorable moment. Each episode has a connective tissue leading the adventure with a constant beat-by-beat story that takes the wacky nothingness journeys and fuses it together with a mystery thriller that leads to a satisfying, emotionally driven ending. It's something so unexpected from the show that you almost feel like you should have expected it. The charm of the show about the day-to-day life at the park is still there. They found a great way to still incorporate those feelings within the park being their spaceship, essentially, with this allowing for intergalactic adventures with some silly non-consequential side quests to story-driven plot points that build towards the gravitas of the ending. It's not only a good ending, it's a great ending. Easily one of the best out there in modern times that I can recall. The whole ending sequence of time passing, the rest of the crew's life going by as their futures are all being watched on a VHS tape by Pops in the afterlife, it's beautiful. The show, especially in the last season, didn't shy away from death, most times at the expense of a gag or joke, but to kill off a main character hits a lot harder, and for the sacrifice made especially. It was for a purpose, for the universe to be safe, for his friends to be safe. While the show had connecting stories before, plot points that would flow through multiple episodes, and character traits that don't just disappear when the episode ends, it was nothing like how this final season handled this larger and well-told narrative. To me, this intimate slice of the park life really connected the relationships of all these characters further. It was all unexpected and well executed. But those are just my opinions. How do you feel about the ending of regular show? Did it have the same impact on you it was intending to go for, or was Season 8's changes in structure a distraction? Let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll be back with another video soon, but until then, later.